Okay, so today is going to be a very scary concept because we're actually going to show you where, believe it or not, the parabola can be used in real life. Now, the first one we're going to do is kind of the lame example of parabola. Okay? And it's like, you know, the football being kicked, or the baseball being thrown, you know, or the golf ball being hit. Because, hey, yeah, that's right, they go in parabolas, okay? So that's pretty lame. But we're going to start there so you can see how to be able to use your calculator to be able to find a bunch of information from a parabola. Then the second example we're going to do is the cool thing that you can use a parabola for, and probably what you wouldn't have expected. And a lot of people, or not a lot of people, very few people, I should say, are paid a lot of money to be able to figure out that second one. Okay? So let's get right at the lame one. The height meters above the ground of a projectile, okay? We're going to be so generic that we're not even going to name the projectile. It is just a projectile. Okay? So think of something flying through the air. Actually, last year, I was at just a hockey arena, right? And my son was just out playing hockey. And my other son was standing on the top of the stairs, and I could tell by the look in his face something wasn't right. And yeah, it was just like he just threw up. It was like, and I was coming right at me. And it was like right from the Matrix. I did this like cool move, totally missed me, and down on the ground, right? And I'm looking at myself, and I didn't get any on me, eh? So that's what I think when I see projectile, okay? So you may be thinking of football, whatever. I think of it. It was I can't believe I never it was just, and I was looking right at him. I could just tell, right? I was glad I didn't have to clean it up. Now, let's put this into our calculator, okay? This is the formula of the projectile, okay? So very removed from thinking right now. It's just kind of like, yeah, wow, cool. So you actually got like a formula for the projectile? How'd you get the formula? Okay, a bunch of guys in white lab coats must figure that one out. But whatever. They say that's the formula. I'm going to put in the formula. Okay, plus 48t, which is x, plus 3. Let's just all hit zoom 6, so we're all looking at the same thing. Now that's pretty. Not only would they give me this detached formula from probably all thought, I got a graph that looks like something just, okay? So, zoom 6, I made us all come here because this is a reality. You're writing your test and you get this, okay? I'm not going to sit there and go, okay, guys, put all your Windows settings here, and then let's see what it looks like. And everyone goes, oh, cool. And then nobody really thinks about it. Where do you get those Windows settings from? Okay? So we got this detached formula that describes the projectile, and then we got a graph that is like this. So how do you start? Like that's no projectile. So you hit zoom, and if you go all the way down, this is one way to kind of get it better. And zoom fit, which is zoom 0. And just hit enter. And you wait for it. Now sometimes it's not that awesome either, but it gives us the projectile. Okay? Now, this is what they said, seconds, time. This is height. So we don't need the negative time, because unless you have a DeLorean, you don't need to worry about the negative time. Okay? So let's go back to our window settings and get rid of our x min and put it as 0. And their y min, because at negative time, whoever kicked the projectile or barfed it or whatever, he probably wasn't in the ground. Okay? Because that's what y is. So we're going to make y min 0. And then we can hit graph. Okay, that's looking a little bit more like a projectile. But still, I'd like to see the entire, like I'd like to see the thing fall too, right? So we got to get some more x's. So how do we get more x's? We make our x's bigger. Right now it's at 10. So what's a good x? 20? Okay, and you hit graph. Okay, that's better. But just remember, that's 20. Now, see, projectile, parabola upside down. Yeah, okay, got it. Now, this point would be what? The maximum. Now, that would be the maximum height of my projectile. And this would be the time it's happening. Now, because when I start typing things in here, this is going to fill up here. You can't see it anymore. So what I actually want to see is a bit more space above. So I'm going to make my y max like 200. Then I can hit graph. And then now I can really see everything good when you'll see when I start typing. Now the first thing that the calculator asks, so can you just take a screenshot here and just draw this? Okay, now remember, this is my height, and this is time, okay? So 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4 seconds, right? So sketch the relevant part of the problem. I think I did that. That's the relevant part. Now, find the height of the projectile 3 seconds after the launch, okay? So 1, 2, 3. The height would be right there, okay? So how do I find that? Trace, 3, enter. 111 meters, okay? So, sketch the relevant part, done. Find the height. Height at 3 seconds is 111 meters. Find the maximum height. Okay, well, I'm looking for this. Okay, so I go here. How do I find the maximum height? Second trace, 4, and then you want to get to the left side of it and see why now I moved my y's bigger, because then I could get room to actually see those arrows. Okay, and then I get to the right of it and I hit enter again, and then you got to hit your third enter. I had a student in last class that was not getting that because she didn't hit the third enter. So 147. Huh? You might get 5.9999999. That's 6. Okay? And again, that's why we do this stuff in the homework. That's why we do it in class. Okay? I got 5.999 last time. You might get 6.0000001. Okay? But then that's 6. What does that mean though, 147? What was the highest? 147. So at 6 seconds, so find the maximum height. Well, we just did. It was 147 meters. It says how many seconds after launch? Well, that's at 6 seconds. So, believe me, the homework goes quick on these things. Okay? Because number one's like a whole page, right? Well, this example, like look how it's half a page. They're a whole page because they give you more room in the next one. But it's fast. Now, what's the height of the projectile at launch? Now, what if I just said to you, the height of the projectile at launch is the y-intercept. Okay, are you making the connection between mathy formula stuff and picture? Okay, so the height of the projectile launch would be the y-int. How do you find the y-intercept? Trace 0. So what was it? So I hit trace 0. So whatever it was 3 meters above the ground at launch. When did it hit the ground? AKA x-intercept. And at the x-intercept, now at the y-intercept, x equals 0, right? At the y-intercept, x equals 0. At the x-intercept, y equals 0. So make y2 equal 0, right? So if you go to y2, make it equal 0, and then we're going to hit second trace 5, and get your spider over there. Hit enter 3 times. 1, 2, 3. At 12 seconds, it hits the ground. 12.1 actually. That's to the nearest tenth. 12.1 seconds. Now, I could also ask you, at what point was it 9 meters above the ground? How would you find that? At what point was it 9 meters above the ground? You just go along and with the little spider till it said 9 in the Y? How do you do it? Okay, let's try that. Trace 9, enter. Is that right? No, I said when is it 9 meters above the ground? Yeah, make y2 equal 9, and you will actually get the nice little line there. And there are 2 times it is 9 meters above the ground. There and there. So you'd have to find both of them. So that would be another question that I could ask. So tomorrow's quiz could be just one problem and then a whole bunch of questions on it. What's this? What's this? What's this? Okay? So is this making sense? Okay. Let's go to the next example. Yes. Intersect. Now, let's. I just want to read this question, and then I want to ask some questions from this. What's wrong? Yep. So last season, a struggling hockey club only had 7,200 season tickets. The owner of the hockey club has decided to raise the price of a package of his season tickets for a new season to generate more revenue. Now, does everybody know what revenue is? What's revenue? No, it's actually not. No, it's not profit. It's just money you take in. Revenue is money you take in. So if people are they're not being able to pay off their debts very well, they won't tell you that. They'll just tell you about their revenue. Now, if you ever watch like Shark Tank and Dragon's Den are excellent for this because everybody gets kind of, blasted on this stuff. What's your revenue? What's your cost per product? How much are you making it for? How much are you selling it for? Where are you selling it? How are you selling it? I mean, they got to know these quick, right? And they want to see if they do know it, because if they don't want to deal with them. Like, why did you come here? Why did you not know this stuff? Now, revenue is just money you're taking in. So how do you find revenue? How do you find revenue? A simple formula. Yeah? Perfect. Revenue is the amount of things you're selling by how much one thing is. If it's yearbooks, it's $20 a yearbook, 200 people, 20 times 200. Bang, there's my revenue. That's not my cost. Cost is how much it takes to make the yearbooks, and profit is revenue minus cost. And you want revenue minus cost to be good. Okay? But I'm just going to throw this. We get 7,200, and I'm going to raise ticket prices. Now, what happens when you raise ticket prices? Yes, you lose people. Now, how do you find that sweet spot and how much to charge for something? How much to charge for a concert ticket? How much to charge for a season ticket? How much to charge for a Blu-ray player? Now, one place that is awesome at doing this, like ruthlessly awesome, is Walmart. Okay? Like I'll tell you right now, the low-end iPad, so 16 gig, is $399. Go anywhere in Canada, it's $399, except Walmart. It's $398. Okay? Now, Apple does not let you mess with their prices. So how come Walmart gets away with it? Because they pay the dollar. Now, why? Okay. People will, if they got to go to Walmart anyway and they got to buy an iPad, why not do it there? Okay. Walmart, if I wanted to come to Walmart and I said, okay, I got a great Blu-ray player, I want to sell it at Walmart. Walmart goes, okay, that's cool. If we do though, we're going to do due diligence and we're going to make sure it's good and everything, but we get to have control of your product. And what does that mean? That means that Walmart will go into your company and look for all the places that they can cut some waste. That may be employees. That may be maybe the one chip that you're using in there you're paying too much for. You can get it cheaper in China over here. So let's get that done. And they will go through till they can get that DVD player 50 cents, $2 cheaper. Because when you start doing that over and over again, you make more money, right? But Walmart does that with everything. Okay? Now, again, I want you to think about, okay, so you own let's say you own a gym membership, like a gym, okay? You know, just the simple, it's got weights, machines, treadmills kind of gym, okay? And you're charging this much per year. Now, how do you come up with this much per year? Should you be charging more? Like, how do you know if you should be charging more? Anyone ever think about that? See, probably at your age, you're like, hey, that's the price it is. That's the price it is. But there was some guys, they call them bean counters, right? Some very gifted people that have, especially in the big companies, okay? Maybe not just your normal mom and pop ones, but I actually have a friend and he is a business coach. When I first met him, business coach, like, what do you do? Get in there with the whistle and they're trained to be able to come in and cut all the fat off, cut all the waste, help you be more efficient, all of these things. And they're worth their weight in gold. Okay? Because if I said, okay, I'll take this on, taking about a week of work, solid, And it's going to cost you $40,000 to hire me for the week. That's a lot of money. But if you say, well, I'll make you $280,000, then that's not a lot of money, because now I have $240,000 that I wouldn't have if I didn't hire him. So there's people that do this, and they do it very well, and they become very reputable, and people seek them when their company's in danger. But I guarantee you, when there's a concert coming to Edmonton, there's a team of people that sit down at a table and they decide how much they're charging. Because let's face it, Rexall is different than, Calgary's. Different amount of seating, different clientele, everything. Like, they have to come up with this magic formula every time. And you're going to pay more for a ticket maybe in, if that same band was in New York City, you're going to pay more money there than you would in Edmonton. Okay? Now, let's go through this, and then maybe this will kind of help you see what? And this has to do with parabolas. How? Okay, let's see. Okay? So, let's get the reality here. You have 7,200 season ticket holders. And just to, he needs more revenue. Okay? Revenue is your money you're taking in. Not profit, not cost, just revenue. Right now, it's $1,400 for season tickets. Before raising the price of a package of season tickets, he hired a market research company to gather data on the proposed increase. Now, they showed for every time they would increase it $25, they would lose 100 people. Okay? So this one, they're going the other direction. Because Walmart has done it differently, that if you lower prices, you make more money. Now, try to explain that to a 5-year-old. So they get $1 less per iPad, but they make more money. How? Well, if you sell 2 iPads at $398, it's better than selling 1 iPad at $399. Okay? And then they start to get it, because I make $30 an iPad as a store, so 29 and 29 is 58, and this one sold 1, so they only made 30. So 58 versus 30. Oh, okay. That makes more sense. So Walmart, what they do is they sell volume, and when you sell volume, you actually make more money. So where's that sweet spot? Okay? Because I think most people think if you want to make more money, make the price bigger. Pretty simple. Okay? If you have a lemonade stand, you want to make more money, make a glass of lemonade more money. Like, why is this rocket science here? Why do you need a parabola? Okay? Well, we'll start to see the complications here. Now, so the big thing is we're going to it just multiples at $25. Now, truly, if this was a real scenario, they might have this down to the cent to what they're going to be charging. Okay? But let X be the number of $25 increases. Okay? So I just put this, let X equal number of increases. And this is what you always want to call it, number of increases or number of decreases. Okay? So right now, I am charging, for the cost of a ticket, I am charging $1,400. Since increases are X, one increase would be $1,425, right? Does that make sense? 2 increases would be $1,450. So this is what I'm going to, okay, 25x. 0 would mean I'm charging $1,400. Okay, so that's the cost of a ticket. Now, With the increase comes a decrease in the number. So the number right now is 7,200. With one increase, how many people do I now have? 7,100. So how am I going to write a formula for that? Minus 100x. Okay. This is how you're always going to set this up. Okay. Where when things change, it affects another variable, right? Affects the number of people coming. So how do you talk about revenue? Well, revenue is cost of something times the number of people buying them, right? So revenue, it would be cost, right, times number. That's how much money is coming in. So that's 1,400 plus 25x, and then you're going to multiply that by 7,200 minus 100x. Now, it says determine the price of a package which would generate the most revenue. I want the sweet spot. There is the perfect balance between number of people and how much you charge. Okay? And guessing and testing isn't the most efficient and probably effective way to find this out. But let's put this into our calculator. Okay, so let's go y equals, we're going to clear that. So just like it is, right? 1,400 minus or plus 25x, 1,400. Make sure you do it in brackets. 25x times 7,200 minus 100x. And hit zoom 6, so we're all looking at the same thing. Now, again, I think we need to see this together, that sometimes, yeah, that's a good looking graph. So we hit zoom 0, right? And it should get it in the screen for us at least. Okay. Now, can you have negative increases? Yes, you can. What is the definition of a negative increase? Decrease. This graph right away would tell you if taking money off would actually increase the number of people. But you can see that the vertex, the height, the max, is on the other side. So I want to see a bit farther. So I need more x, right? I need to see more x. So I'm going to hit window, and my x max, like, I don't know, make it 20. Because what does x indicate? What is x? Do we lose track of what x is? What is it? The number of increases. Don't think it's the number of dollars. Okay? So if I go like this, then I still don't get to see the bottom. But the most important part is right there. Find the sweet spot. That is the sweet spot right there. So second trace, I'm doing 4, right? Okay, where's that little spider? There he is. See, and that's why when your spider's mixed up with the words, I would make my Y bigger, but you guys know how to do it. Left bound, then right bound. Oops, I don't know if I got it right enough. No, I didn't. That was a huge waste of time. So enter. Make sure you get really, really right of the vertex. 8. Oops. Back here. 8. And then that number. 10,240,000. Now what does that mean? What does the 8 represent? Number of increases. What does 10,240,000 indicate? Max revenue. Okay? So, 8 increases. So if I have 8 increases, the price for a ticket is 1,400 plus 25 times 8 is $1,600. Okay, so we're increasing by 1,600. Now, what was the original revenue? Actually, let's do D. How many season ticket holders would there now be? 7,200 minus 6,400. Or sorry. Yeah. No. Minus 100 times 8, which is $800, is 800 people, I should say. It would be 6,400 season tickets now. Now, how much more revenue? How much more revenue? Well, original was 1,400 times 7,200. That was original. And we were making, or he was making, $10,080,000. Not making, taken in, right? We haven't subtracted all the... But his new revenue would be 1,600 times 6,400, which is 10,240,000. So we would subtract the 2, obviously, and you would get, so the new revenue would be $160,000. Okay, I just actually want to take a screenshot of this. So it's on the notes. And hopefully you're just drawing it quickly, right? Because you need to have, obviously, a visual of all this stuff. Now, does everybody see what happened here? We found the number of increases, and we were able to find a new revenue. Now, if he said, I'm going to cost you $40,000 to do this, you've just made $120,000 more, and you haven't done anything. In fact, what are the advantages of going down to 6,400 people? Anyone got any advantages? Yeah? No, they're just going to stay empty. What are the advantages? Yeah? Yeah, less cleanup, less maintenance. Right? Maybe less employees. We can lay off a couple employees. Now, what's the bad thing about having those empty seats? Come on, think as a business here. I'm making more money, but there's empty seats. Yeah, I wasn't really thinking about that, but that's you know, they could be going to the competitor. No? Nobody knows any disadvantages? Now this is where it gets complicated. The city says, okay, we'll cover the $160,000. So basically we'll subsidize the tickets. Can you keep them at $1,400? We'll pay $160,000. So the city of Edmonton says they're going to pay that increase. And that's what's called subsidize. Now, people get mad. What are you doing? What are you getting involved in hockey for? Like the city is putting in money to build an arena for the Oilers. Huh? Why is the city getting... Why would the city say, okay, we don't want those empty. We'll give you that $160,000. Why? Why would the city do that? They just, for those poor people that can't afford the, $1,600, keep it $1,400. Why? Why did the city get involved? Think, you guys. Any idea? Yeah? No? You're selling them to Edmontonians, yeah? Yeah. Could create more jobs. Why do people having jobs matter? How does it help your city if people have jobs? Taxes. Now, I want you to think about this. Let's just pretend for a second that the Oilers are in the playoffs. And we were actually first place in the playoffs. So we get home ice advantage for the first 2 games. The best out of 7. First round. So let's say we're playing Dallas. Let's throw it out there. Okay, so we're playing Dallas. Dallas comes here, plays 2. We win both. Because I know there's a lot of fiction going on here, but let's just work with me. Then we go to Dallas and we win game 3. I own the Oilers. Okay, so we'll throw that out too. We got them in the playoffs. They came in first. Okay. They've won 3 and I own the Oilers. Why do I not want them to win game 4? They come home. Can you imagine how much money is lost if we don't have a game 5? You couldn't even imagine. I bet you guys have no idea what it brings to Edmonton to have a game 5. Throw some stuff out. Who makes money? No, come on. As a teacher, I wouldn't make money because they're coming here. Well, yeah, okay, back to that. I make tons of money. The players make more money because they usually have... Actually, I don't know if the players would make more money in that case. Yeah? For playing another game in a series? I don't think so. Yeah, if you win the series. But then, why don't they win in 4? Players would want to win in 4. Think, you guys. Come on, think outside the box. What does Game 5 do to Edmonton? Brings more people. What do people do? They eat. What else do they do? Buy jerseys. Merchandise. Think bigger. Parking. You're thinking better now. Hotels, you guys. Taxis. Every pack of gum they buy. Think about all those things. I bet you couldn't even put a number on it accurately how much money one more game brings to Edmonton. Now, I'm not even going to throw this. I didn't even think about this in the last class. But if you're not... You guys don't remember this. Like, what were you guys doing in 06? What grade were you in? In 08. 06. Yeah, 2006. We were in the finals. Now, do you guys remember what was happening to everybody that was not in Skyreach? It was called Skyreach at that time. If you weren't in Skyreach, where were you? Where were you watching it? I bet you every sports bar in Edmonton was back. Just think of the money one of them made that night. Okay? Take away Game 5 now. So I always think there's a conflict of interest. If you own the Oilers, do you want to win in 4? Absolutely not. An owner would not want to win in 4. Now, I would rather win in 4 than lose the playoffs. That's better. But I would, you know what? The most money is made in NHL when a series goes to game 7. Okay? And I think about, like, I would never bet money on a game 4 because I think there's big conflict of interest there. Like, would it be so bad for you to say, you know what, as the owner, you come down to the coach and you go, let's maybe not put in these 3 players as much this game. Can we do that? You know, let's rest them up for the next series. You know? Yeah. So, when you think about the financial stuff, please don't be playing with your hair right now. Okay? When you think about this stuff, it's extremely complicated and it is very complex and you got to really think in depth what happens when you increase prices, decrease prices, when you don't go to game 5, when you don't go to game 6. Why has the city got so involved in this new, like, why? And a lot of people like this. Why are we involved in building a new stadium? Like, that's nuts. I mean, the owner is the one that makes all the money. Why isn't he paying for all of it, right? And he's not dumb, okay? He wants the city to pay as much as possible. Now, if the Oilers lost or left this city, it would be a huge hit, huge financial hit to this city. All the people coming in, and just not that, you don't even know the spin-offs because maybe they come to they're going to watch 2 games here. They flew in from Dallas, and they find out there'd be some cool stuff to do here in the summer. Like, let's come back in the summer. Let's do this. We'll head to Jasper for a couple days too. So it really helps tourism, and it helps. I mean, just like the volleyball tournament, the junior high volleyball tournament. What if one player from another school goes, hey, this is a cool school. I should probably go here. Okay? Just one. You can see Mr. Suderman was like taking people around. He's giving like personal tours and stuff. Hey? So it's exposure. Edmonton gets huge exposure when you have the playoffs. Okay? When the big blimp is flying around and it says Rexall, okay, Kate's gets more money, okay? And then, did you even think about that? Like, what is, especially Skyreach. Skyreach paid a lot of money to put their name on the building. Have any of you here, do you guys know what Skyreach is? Yeah? No? What's Skyreach? What do they sell? Okay, so that's what I'm wondering too. Like, does it? No, just those lifts. You know that one lift, that scissor lift we have in the atrium? That's what they sell. That's why if you ever see the Skyreach symbol, it's just a little scissor lift thing. That's what they sell. And I'm like, how does that help? Like, I could see maybe Rexall. Okay, I don't know. Not me, but I wouldn't be like, yeah, I was going to go to Safeway to get this, but Rexall, come on, they own the Oilers or the rink. I'm going to go there instead. So maybe I'm not that guy, but they know that if they put that on the building, the Staples Center, Kodak, whatever, but someone does the math and says it's worth it. Okay, it's worth it. So we're doing 1 to 7, just omit 4. I don't know, maybe it's just me. I think that stuff's pretty neat. Trying to figure out how much to charge for something. Okay, guys, let's go. These are really fast. You'll get through it all. It only has 10 minutes of homework.